at, I believe, what time is it? 8:30 a.m.
Open at 9:30.
Yeah. So tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern tomorrow, we will be live trading in front of you guys. 8:30 a.m. Eastern, we will be live trading. However, because we will be live trading tomorrow. So now we will be. Make sure this mic is good. Okay. Sorry, let me get a water break. I just talked for a lot. W's in the chat for some value. If you guys got value, put some W's in the chat. I see some questions.
Chat's moving.
All right. Strategy and one pair. Yeah. So strategy is key. Okay. So if I'm trading the break, know that. But the thing is, one pair, right? Like I have my group of tickers. What do you think?
Basket of tickers, like 2 to 3 each day. Basically just scanning some stocks. We'll talk about we'll go over our full pre-market game plan.
Yeah. But for myself personally, I think a basket of tickers, for example, if the strategy is a break and retest, which we taught in this, let's say Tesla, Nvidia, AMD, SPY, QQQ, and so trade that basket and then just trade the break and retest. You're a real trader. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, guy. For stocks trading or also futures. So we have a accelerator that trade futures, options, stocks. Our main, or not main coaches, but one of our coaches is actually, we have a lot of variety in that as well. Some of these comments. Is there a correlation? Bitcoin. Will be in USD. Let's see. Do you have a manual? Okay, so this is a question I get a lot, which is, do I have a manual stop loss or an automatic stop loss? Now, for myself personally, I have a manual stop loss, which means every time the trade hits my stop loss, I have to stop myself out. The reason I have that is because when you have a manual stop loss, it's much easier to make sure you're waiting for candle closures. I don't want to get faked out, right? I don't want to turn fake out liquidity. So when I have a manual stop loss, I can actually look at my stop and be like, okay, this is where I need to exit because the candle closed below. But if the candle just wicks into a level, then I'm not closing below it. Let's see. When is the 14-day boot camp starting? The 14-day boot camp will start in October. Okay, so the once again, the full schedule and everything will be in the boot camp, but it will start in October. And once again, everything there is recorded. So even if you have work or any other commitments, everything is recorded in there. Let's see. See so many people typing.
Yeah, the chat's moving.
How do you take your exit? So tomorrow, that's why we're doing the live trading. So we're literally live trading for tomorrow because I want to show you guys the entries and exits. So hopefully there's a trade tomorrow that sets up. If there is a trade tomorrow that sets up, then you guys will see much more clearly of exactly how we look for this. Okay. Bro, it's literally impossible to read this chat. Sorry, I'm trying to just get one question. Can we learn how to you trade Forex? I trade options. I trade options, stocks, and futures sometimes, but primarily options and stocks and futures sometimes. I personally don't trade Forex. However, I know a lot of people that trade Forex using the system that we teach that works for them. What if we don't have 25K PDT rule? So there's usually you can just use a cash account.
You can use a cash account. You don't PDT. I'm not sure if they're actually removing the PDT restriction, but you can just trade with a cash account.
They're going through with it. I think the SEC is actually trying to remove the PDT restriction from 25,000 to 2,500, by the way. Let's see. How do you, I already answered that PDT question. Can you show us your monitor and TWS setup tomorrow? We can show that. We can probably show that tomorrow as well.
Which one?
Just the monitor setup. It's
Yeah,
just 3
yeah.
screens. I mean, we can show. We have in the accelerator course. I'm pretty sure. Actually, no, I know that for in the course within the Trader's Edge, there's literally we talk about that as well. But we can show that tomorrow too on live stream. That's no big deal. You missed to teach the key level break and retest yesterday. No, we didn't. The reason I didn't teach the key level break and retest is because we're going to talk about that tomorrow. Because tomorrow, we're going to talk about tomorrow, by the way, when we're live trading. These are things that are important when you're live trading. We're going to talk about which stocks we're choosing, how we choose them pre-market. So how we choose the stocks that we're coming into the day with, how we choose what setup that we're choosing, because we taught you guys the 5-minute high, right? The 1 candle rule, the pre-market high, the previous day high. Like we taught you a bunch of different strategies and systems. So tomorrow, what we're going to do is actually use those systems, right? We're going to use them and we're going to teach you how to actually apply them in the real markets in the morning. Does Trader's Edge give access to your Discord channel? Yes. So Trader's Edge is the Discord channel. I want to make that clear, right? It's everything that you see in the accelerator for live trading, everything that comes in the accelerator, Trader's Edge has, plus the bootcamp, right? It has the bootcamp as well. Let's see. Are we lagging? I think we should be good.
If we're lagging, then you always just have to restart the stream.
Yeah, just refresh it. Yeah, just refresh
it.
your screen. Let's see. I'm trying to read this chat. Is there? Sorry, I missed that one. Have you ever taken shorts? So for me personally, 90% of my trades, I'll be honest with you guys, right? It's very hard. So one thing that a lot of people fail to understand is how difficult it is to go from a long bias to a short bias. Like genuinely, a lot of people fail to understand this, right? And I don't understand why. It is so much harder it is so much harder going from a long bias to a short bias or a short bias to a long bias. What that means is if I'm looking to go long on a trade right here, right? And this is my thesis coming into the day. But let's say that trade comes in and rejects off this level. Well, mentally, I am prepared to go long. I'm not prepared to go short, right? I can go short, but the chances of me holding this short all the way down here, right? And actually holding my winners, which you guys know I'm pretty good at holding winners, the likelihood of that is much lower. So for me personally, I am a long bias trader much more, but that's not to say that I wouldn't want to short the market as well. I do short, but I would just say more so 90% of the time, I'd say I'm more so of a long bias trader. 10% of the time I'm short because the short market also moves a lot quicker, right? So if you're looking to short a trade, the trade will always stair step up, right? Remember this, guys. When a stock is moving up, it will stair step up, right? Which means slower moves to the upside. But when a stock is moving down, it will dip hard, okay? So just remember that. What time tomorrow? 8:30 a.m. Eastern. 8:30 a.m. Eastern tomorrow is when we're going to start the stream. Okay, so 8:30 a.m. Eastern tomorrow is when we're starting the stream for live trading. Is there a separate charge for getting into your Discord? No. Trader's Edge is the Discord. Okay, Trader's Edge is the Discord. So you getting into the Trader's Edge is you getting full access to everything in the accelerator. Let's see, bro. You guys type. I see why streamers are like, I can't. It's actually literally impossible to read this chat unless I slow it down. Do you move your stop loss higher as a trade goes into profit? So this is a good question as well. So when a trade is moving up, the way I move it is, let's say I took a break and retest entry. Right? Let's say I took a break and retest entry here. Well, if the trade is coming back down, the market structure doesn't break until we break back below this kind of key level that we had. Therefore, I would still stay in this trade, right? Now, let's say the trade moves up. The only way I'm going to move my stop loss from this level to somewhere higher is if the market structure is invalidated. So we know if, for example, there's a key level here and we broke above, if the market breaks this key level, this means that sellers are stepping in. Okay, so I only move my stop loss up if the key level breaks or the market structure breaks. That is the only way that I personally move mine. When is Scarface merch gonna
Merch,
come
yes,
out?
NFT.
I don't know. Scarface. Oh, so many people ask me that for that. By the way, Scarface merch. So many people. That'd be funny though. I'd honestly give that away for free. That would be pretty cool. I think you know what would be cool. I don't know if you guys would want this, but like an in-person kind of summit, and then I guess people are from all around the world here though. But like that would be cool, and then just giving away free stuff. That would be pretty cool. Um, let's see.
Just when
How
you think it's gonna slow down, it
I
just
know
picks
it
up.
slows
Yeah.
down. It's like, okay, let me read it. And it's just 10 times faster. Um, thank you for the value shared. God bless you both. I appreciate that. If you trade options, how do you buy the options? So tomorrow will be a great example of that because tomorrow you'll be able to see exactly how we trade the options and which option contracts we obviously trade. For myself personally, on average, I trade the one out of the money, right? So every single time, one out of the money contracts is what I typically trade. Okay, one out of the money contracts weekly as well, right? So the same week, one out of the money. Once again, if you're confused about options, we have within the course in Trader's Edge, we have a full options kind of guide in there as well, going over all the Greeks, delta, gamma, theta, rho, right? All of that. Let's see.
Yeah,
W.
I see someone asking about lifetime as well. So you have lifetime access to the education, and then you have 1 year full of live trading.
Yeah. 1 year of full live trading every single day for a full year, which should help you get right on track. And then you have lifetime access to all the education that is within it. So the 14-day bootcamp, you have the full recordings, the accelerator course, you have the full recordings, everything, right? You have full recording and access to that for life. In-person summit when from Ontario. That would be a cool thing, I think. That would be a cool thing to do, I feel like. I don't know if we're going to do it. I'm just saying it would be a cool thing to do. Let's see. So how hard is it to move from futures to options? I wouldn't say it's that hard. I think because here's the thing. I think futures are a little bit easier because there's obviously no option Greeks that are behind it. So you don't have to really work with the option Greeks. However, with options, the thing is we have such a variety of things that we can trade. And once you figure out, which we're going to talk about tomorrow in day 3, relative strength and weakness, that's going to be a very important concept for you guys to learn, is the relative strength and weakness concept. Okay. And once we kind of go through that, you'll understand why, for myself personally, there's an edge in that, right? When I talk about hidden edge and that we're going to talk about in Trader's Edge, right? Trader's Edge, hidden edge. Hopefully you guys got the metaphor there. But when I talk about the edge that we talk about in there, relative strength plays a huge factor in that. Where are you guys from, by the way? Let's see in the chat. I know a lot of you guys are asking questions, and I'm going to try to answer a lot of them today. But where are you guys from? We'll also answer a lot tomorrow as well. But where are you guys from? Because I do see some people from GTA Canada. I'm just curious where people are from now. Let's see. Canada, US, Ottawa, Florida, California, Ancaster. All right, Ancaster, New York, New Jersey. All right, Las Vegas, Texas, South Carolina, Montreal, Brampton, Toronto, Hawaii, UAE. All right, we got people from everywhere, which is insane. Absolutely insane. Bangladesh, Singapore, Hong Kong, Florida, UK, Poland. Absolutely crazy. We got to do like a US tour and a Canada tour. That would be crazy. And then the world tour after that. Maybe like a Europe, South Africa. That would be insane.
Cool.
Bro, that would be so crazy. Let's see. All right, let's
Ontario.
Can we upgrade to the 14-day bootcamp? Yes. If you're in the accelerator, you can upgrade into the 14-day bootcamp. Yes. Let's see. Ethiopia, a bunch of. How much does volume come? So the reason I don't focus on volume as much, the reason I don't focus on volume as much is because the candlesticks tell me the volume. The reason I wait for candlestick confirmation, kind of like how Jack said, is because the candlestick is showing us how much. If a candlestick has a bigger range, right? So for example, let's say we have a candlestick like this, right? This candlestick is a pretty neutral candlestick overall, right? Now, let's say we have a candlestick that is completely bearish, right? But a bigger range. So this is the full body. This is a full shaded area, right? It tells me that this candlestick right here most likely only has 20% of the volume, right? 20% of the volume that this big candlesticks has. So I don't need to go back and look at, the volume chart on the bottom of the screen here, right? This is the volume chart. This is my makeshift volume chart, right? To know that this candlestick has a lot more volume behind it. Okay, so it's just simplifying trading. I think simplifying trading is very, very, very important. Okay, how do you upgrade into 14-day bootcamp if we're already in? Just click the link, or if you're in the accelerator, you can also open up a help ticket as well. If you're in the accelerator looking to enter into the 14-day bootcamp. Let's see. Do you do pending orders? I don't know what that means. Do I have pending orders on my broker sometimes when I don't get filled? Is it just one payment? Yes, it's just one time, 1,500 one time. That's it. No more. Complete newbie. What can I expect from Trader's Edge Bootcamp? It is a full, for anyone that's a brand new trader or even a beginner trader or an expert trader. I am telling you, you will come out of Trader's Edge getting some value. You guys got value from today's session. Imagine 10x the value in Trader's Edge. Genuinely, that's what it is. If you got value from today's session, imagine starting from the absolute beginning with us to the absolute. Because here's the thing: when I first started trading, I would literally, my main, the reason I would fail consistently is because I was jumping from mentor to mentor, strategy to strategy. So if I just started from one mentor and learned from them the entire time, my journey would have been cut in half. Now, I'm not saying that's going to be you, and I'm not saying that even may be me, right? I'm not even trying to tell you to go get this, right? I'm just saying for a fact, I know my journey would have been cut in half, right? So that's really what the Trader's Edge is all about, okay? Are you calling it out when to enter and exit in the live trading sessions? I always do. We have for last year.
Every single day, every single live session called out live in real time. Also, I see someone asking for the bootcamp. If you have a monthly membership, you can go onto the checkout and you can cancel your existing membership.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Prop firms. How many of you guys use prop firms? I'm actually just curious. How many of you guys use prop firms? How many of you guys use prop firms compared to real capital? Because I just want to see. I'm just curious on how many of you guys use prop firms. I use prop firms, sometimes me. I use personal capital. Okay, so some people do a combination of both. Okay. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing with prop firms, right? I think if you have the right one, it's good. If you have the right one and they pay you out, right, and you're a good trader, it's fine, right? I personally always recommend having your own money on the line just because you want to learn something. But if you have, once again, if you use prop firms, I used to have a much more negative connotation to them. I don't as much anymore because I've seen the back end of the prop firms. I used to think they're very, very predatory. And once again, a lot of them are very, very, very predatory, right? I want to make that so clear. And I'm not associated with any prop firm myself either. But if you find the right one, right, then it can be good as well. Let's see. There's support in the bootcamp. Yes. So there is support in the bootcamp. You will see within the accelerator itself, we have weekly coaching calls. On top of that, when you do join, you're going to get implementation calls. So the second you join the Trader's Edge, the process, you'll be redirected to get a link. And within that link, you can book a call. And within that call, you will have a coach that will guide you through the whole process of how to get the most value out of the program, right? So that way you're not lost or you're not behind. I know there's a lot of new traders in here. Even if you're an experienced trader, sometimes platforms can be confusing, right? Like I know for a fact platforms can be confusing. If you've never used Circle before, if you've never used Discord, it can be a little bit confusing. So we want to make sure it's not confusing for you guys. And therefore we will make sure that you kind of have that implementation platform and everything's kind of ran through for you. What about order flow? I think order flow is really complicated. A lot of my friends trade order flow, but I just think it's a little bit too complicated.